We will now go to Jillian Piper with Global. Please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Singh. Thanks for taking our
Hi there.
questions today.
Of course.
So my first one for you is, do you agree with the Liberals' change that allows first-time home buyers to get a mortgage with a 30-year amortization on new builds?
It is a measure that I support, but it is not a measure on its own that's going to fix the housing crisis. And so let's be very clear that the Liberals have really just been tampering with this serious problem. And this is one suggestion that people have made that might help some folks, but it's not at all the full solution. What we need to do fundamentally to make it so that people can afford a home is to look at the housing market and the way it's been designed. It has been designed on purpose by liberals and conservatives to make rich investors a lot of money, to make rich developers a lot of money. But it doesn't work for everyday folks. It doesn't work for families. It doesn't work for young people. It doesn't work for people on disabilities. It doesn't work for seniors. It does not work for people. That is a problem. So we need to change that. And some of the solutions we've said is we've got to have a variety of housing. We've got to build more cooperative housing. It's a real option for people. Let's also be clear, cooperative housing, which has provided real affordable homes to thousands of Canadians, is something that Pierre Poilievre calls communist style, Soviet style housing. I mean, how disrespectful is that? And it shows you what he thinks about affordability. He's not in it to build affordable homes. Well, we are. We also need not-for-profit housing. We need subsidized housing. We need the federal government to directly build homes that are affordable. Because we know that developers on their own, while a part of the solution, an important part, are not going to build homes that are affordable out of the goodness of their heart. There has to be a clear incentive and a clear, by design, program to build homes that people can actually afford to live in. And when I mean afford to live in, I mean people should be able to pay their rent, have a roof over their head, own a home, and still have money left over to pay their bills, to buy their groceries, to save up money for a rainy day, to maybe take their family on a little trip. I mean, that's what we expect of living the good life, that people should be able to live in that type of dignity and respect. And that's not going to happen by the market alone. It's going to happen by design if the federal government makes it a priority and builds a housing market that works for people. And that's what I'm talking about.
Thanks, Mr. Singh. You said that you support the measure on the 30-year amortization, but it doesn't help everyone. Do you think that this change should be extended to anyone who wants to buy a home?
Well, right now the approach is on first-time home buyers, and I think that makes sense to keep it at that point. But for the broad problem of affordability, it's not going to be solved by having longer and longer mortgages or longer and longer amortization. It's going to be solved by building homes that people can actually afford. And that's what we have to focus on. One of the solutions that we proposed is on federal land, there's land owned by the federal government, that we should be exclusively building homes that people can afford. Right now, the Liberals' approach is a small portion of federal land is being used for affordable homes. The rest of it is to build market homes that people can't afford. That is no way to solve this crisis. So we really need to take a serious approach towards building homes that people can afford, looking at every solution on the table. That's actually going to create more affordability rather than the liberal approach of kind of tinkering with some solutions. The conservative approach is to let rich developers and rich investors do whatever they want, which is not going to build affordable homes. Our approach is we've got to make this a priority and look at all the solutions to create homes that people can truly afford to live in.